All right, guys, hello and welcome. I'm Kimberly. I am super pumped that you're here. I am even more excited to have an opportunity to relay and share this incredible information with you today, especially in the field that I'm in, the industry I'm in, health technology and nutrition. Where do you get your protein from, comes up all the time. And so I am super excited to have some new research, some information to be able to present and share some really interesting findings. So you're not going to want to miss it. Stick around. It's going to blow your mind when we think of everything that we've been told and all the information that's available to us about protein and your health. Well, this is purely speculation, but this could be a game changer for what we know. So you're not going to want to miss it. And as always, if you like this information, if I'm adding any value, if I'm making it easier for you to understand what's going on in the world of health, please give me a big thumbs up. I would super appreciate the support for the channel. And don't forget to subscribe. I do not want you to miss any of this important information. Honestly, a lot of the information that I have shared and that I will be sharing, I know could be life-saving information. So make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss out. And without further ado, let's do it. Let's jump in. Let's talk about protein. All right, so protein for a better metabolism. Well, let's take a look at the science. So first of all, I want you to think about this. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the word protein? Maybe you're thinking meat, protein powder. Maybe you're thinking, how about vegetables? Are all protein sources created equal? Maybe that's something that you've been thinking about. Can you really get your protein from plants? How much do I really need? Or where do you get your protein from? That comes up a lot as well, especially when you're a vegetarian or a vegan. So let's review some of the current health stats, national current health stats. Right now, over 70% of the adults in the United States are classified as overweight or obese. And then in that category further, when we look at the age bracket of 65 plus, we have risk factors for diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. So why is protein even important? So I'm not going to be going deep into like the molecular structures, of amino acids or proteins, aka amino acids in this video, but basically they're used in every cell of your body. They're an essential macronutrient. You need them to survive. I kind of think of them this way. When I'm cooking a meal, I like to consider myself a foodie. So when I'm cooking a meal, you have your garlic, you have your herbs, you have your different components of your dish, right? Those are the amino acids that I kind of liken to the proteins, right? And then when you put it all together, you have your meal or your protein. So that's kind of a way I like to think about it. All organisms need some proteins. So whether it's something like in the structure of the cell membrane or in your muscle, it's essential. We need proteins. So stepping back for a second and looking at the three main macronutrient categories, you have your fats, your carbs, and your proteins. And the popular view for so long has been that a calorie from one category of macronutrients, like a calorie from carbs, is equal to a calorie of protein, right? Calorie for a calorie. Well, the theory has been debunked, and several studies have demonstrated how metabolism actually responds differently depending on the macronutrient. And one of these studies actually found that body weight changes were highly correlated with diet differences in energy intake. So for the purposes of the video and for this review, we're going to be honing in, like I said, on protein. And we can see from here, the data that's presented here in the chart, as a society. So this is based on USDA recommendations, dietary intake recommendations. And the chart is breaking down these macronutrients and food categories. And so one of the food categories, the protein over here, we can see that we are consuming way too much meat. So too high in a particular category is the lilac and too low in a particular category is the blue. So too much meat, eggs, and poultry. We are significantly under the intake recommendations for seafood and relatively under for nuts, seeds, and soy products. So again, we were saying the USDA recommendations, and this is actually directly from their website: macronutrients, minerals, and vitamins broken down by age and sex groups. And so currently the daily nutritional goals are based on these guidelines. For females, the recommendation starts at 13 grams per day. It increases up to 46 grams per day, and it caps at the 46 grams. So you have a range, 13 grams all the way up to 46 grams. And for males, we start at age 2, again, with the 13 grams, but we go all the way up and we cap at 56 grams throughout the lifespan. Protein has long been a controversial topic, and that is why we are going to kind of bypass the speculation and go straight to the science, so we can make sense of all of the information at times that can be very conflicting and confusing. So one such scientist and researcher, Dr. Dudley Lamming, has spent a majority of his career looking into and identifying interventions to treat and prevent diabetes and obesity, as well as the impact of protein quality in health and longevity. Sounds good to me. Lamming began this journey after seeing a peculiar trend in his study from 2014 on how mice reacted to various controlled diets. He noticed the mice who had the least amount of protein in their diets were healthier than the others. So currently he's a faculty member at the Division of Endocrinology, Diabetes, and Metabolism within the Department of Medicine. And so they propose not all protein is created equal. So in his most recent publication, The Regulation of Healthspan and Lifespan by Dietary Amino Acids, Dudley and his colleague proposed that diets alter the level of specific macronutrients, but which do not restrict calories, may therefore be able to promote metabolic health and leanness in a more sustainable way than traditional dieting. And that is a word that comes up a lot in the space of health and weight loss, the word sustainability. The authors honed in on a specific dietary amino acids, including, so this is what we're going to be talking about today, and they're listed here: methionine, 3 of the 9 branched chain amino acids, including leucine, isoleucine, and valine, tryptophan, and glycine. They wanted to understand the effects of these amino acids on aging, of dietary protein on aging. The findings may seem surprising, given that many modern dieting programs recommend adding more proteins because of their feeling of fullness and other factors that they might provide. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so when it comes to protein intake, the questions who, what, where, when, why, and how have a history of such varying answers that it honestly can be very overwhelming and confusing. Like I said, conflicting, confusing. So what the authors have done in this particular publication that we're reviewing is they've simplified the data by reporting on measures of protein restriction versus supplementation for these specific amino acids that are listed here. The article, it does go into great detail on like the molecular mechanisms and their impact on longevity. For the purpose, again, of this review, the goal is to always keep it simple and just, give the most accurate outcomes and information from the article. And so that's what we're going to highlight here. So restriction versus supplementation. Methionine was found to, upon restriction, be beneficial to metabolic health. Supplementation is not advised based on the authors. The branched chain amino acids that were looked at, leucine, isoleucine, and valine, restriction had shown to promote healthy body composition and healthy blood glucose control. Supplementation was shown to lead to impaired metabolic health and decreased lifespan. In terms of tryptophan, restriction showed to extend lifespan and improve metabolic health, and supplementation showed to suppress blood glucose level, delaying diabetes onset or progression. Glycine, no findings were reported as far as this particular publication goes. As far as restriction for glycine, and for supplementation, higher blood levels associated with reduced risk of diabetes. But the question, what about animal protein versus plant protein? So let's take a look at the difference and the different effects of animal versus plant protein. Studies suggest that plant-based protein is healthier. A recent study showed that a plant-based diet significantly lowered the incidence of cardiovascular disease, mortality, and all-cause mortality in a cohort of middle-aged adults. Vegan diets have been implicated to show reducing the risk of developing metabolic syndrome, lowering triglycerides, blood pressure, glucose, waist circumference, body mass index, and decreasing fat mass and insulin resistance. You do the math. One possibility that has been advanced to explain the beneficial effects of plant protein is there is a difference in protein quality and the specific amino acid composition of the protein. Plant-based diets have a reduced methionine as compared to animal sources, and humans consuming a vegan diet have reduced plasma levels of methionine compared to humans who eat animal proteins. So it looks like details do matter. But what does it all mean? Not only have we discovered that not all calories are created equal, but not all macronutrients are created equal. And now researchers are digging in even deeper and finding that amino acids are not all created equal. Lamming's laboratory is testing low BCAA diets in smaller scale human studies now in hopes of gleaning more insight into the relationship between these proteins and human health. In conclusion, Lamming believes we are on track to find a diet that people could adhere to without restricting calories that would still enable them to live a long and healthy life. And that is that. So what's the takeaway? Remember, not all protein is created equal. I'm very excited to have been able to share that information with you. Yes, it is one article. Yes, it is one publication, but it does offer some very interesting and insightful information, and I cannot wait to look into it a little bit further. So if that's something that you would like to learn more about, please let me know in the comments below. It's very helpful when I hear from, all of you guys who are awesome and watching and listening and engaging in this. So until the next time, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.